Hello, my name is Brian Ortiz, and today I will be doing my SWOT analysis. The two companies I chose are Spotify and Pandora. Now, these two companies have different strengths. Starting off with Spotify, they are highly engaged with their consumers' consumption habits. Spotify offers things such as Discover Weekly, which shows various new songs, which updates weekly. They also have Enhanced Shuffle now, which is a form of radio for their consumers. It shows new songs and so on. Also with recommended artists, and this just helps their consumers find new artists and podcasts to listen to. It just keeps them coming back to the app, especially since they've newly introduced audiobooks for free for certain hours. Like there's a limited amount of hours, but they've begun to tap into different forms of media, and they also inform listeners about upcoming live events for artists that they're fans of. And in some instances, they'll send like pre-sale codes to the concerts to top fans, like for Spotify exclusive sales and other offers. Sometimes, rarely though, they do give tickets. The artist will partner with fans, and they'll give free tickets to like really big fans. And the second thing is brand recognition. They're really well known, as they're one of the highest, most well known streaming services to date, and they're one of their top competitors in their market. So their brand recognition is very high. Now, getting into Pandora, they have a well-established consumer market, since Pandora has been around since the early 2000s, and they're really well known amongst like the older generations. They also have plan options that vary in price range, so they have some ranging from 99 cents to $10, which can be very helpful for those who require like a tighter budget for streaming services. Now, getting into the weaknesses, Spotify is a subscription driven based platform now. One of their main annoyances with their consumers is how hard they push for this. They've changed certain features to where you can only access it if you're a premium user, such as like letting you play songs in any order. They've been demoing viewing lyrics only being a premium only feature, and repeat. So these things are only allowed for premium users, which can be deemed unfair for those who just want to listen to music. And the second thing is they're well known for having low compensation for artists. This is a really big gripe that I've noticed has popped up in recent years, as artists have begun to speak out about how much they get paid for streams on Spotify compared to other streaming services. This may push artists away from using the platform themselves in a consumer-based way, because if they see how they get paid from Spotify, they can look towards like Apple Music, for example, and see they pay higher in royalties and prefer to use their service because of that. And Pandora, they have a restricted market because as of 2017, Pandora has changed their service to only being available in the United States, and this is because licensing restrictions, as it was previously available in New Zealand and Australia as well. But this makes their market for the service extremely limited to consumers. And this also ties into their second weakness, which is that they're severely underpromoted. The service hasn't really expanded to newer audiences, thus hindering potential consumers from finding their services. A lack of consumers means the app can generate less income, and overall it just doesn't benefit from this choice. Now, getting into opportunities, Spotify, they could really expand their age demographic by this merge. Their age demographic is very high with the younger crowd, whereas Pandora hits those who are in their upper 40s and above. This can also be due to things such as Spotify Wrapped, which is kind of like can be used with younger audiences and posting like the type of artists they're listening to and their most streamed songs. It's become kind of like there's culture surrounding Spotify Wrapped now, which has really blown up in the past few years. Along with this potential merge, it'll open up their network to various forms of media. So Spotify could gain access to like exclusive podcasts only on Pandora, more audiobooks, especially since they, as previously mentioned, they're really attempting to tap into that at this very moment. So this would really benefit them in that way. Now for Pandora, this would increase their monthly consumer rate due to the lower rate of consumers they have compared to Spotify. They could gain a lot of popularity back by this merge. Pandora was like more well known, especially like in the past like earlier years around like 2014 and so. So this could bring people back into like looking into Pandora and seeing like what they have to offer. And it would, as I just stated, it'd bring in like a higher volume of traffic for them, since Spotify is really well known. And it would expand their services to a wider range of licensing, since we know this is that licensing issues are what hinder them from expanding into other areas across the world. I believe with this merge, that could go away, since Spotify clearly has like that sorted out on their side of things. So they could gain access to a whole new catalog of music and other media that they currently don't have or are having issues securing. Threats, the threats that may come to Spotify, artists creating exclusive deals with rival companies. This is becoming like more common nowadays, especially when artists do album rollouts or promo tours or whatever it may be. For example, Apple Music, they like do talk radio shows with certain artists who are really massive, along with interviews and exclusive podcasts with big names, as I just said. So this could drive away like their audience, and it can become a big issue if Spotify doesn't cater to around this properly. There's a whole side of Apple Music that Spotify, which is one of their bigger competitors, that they don't really have down like they do. So this can become a really big issue, especially as like stan culture, fan culture, whatever, is becoming like more popular nowadays. And the rising prices may ward off customers and new customers, potential customers. The constant rise of pricing paired with this attempt to force a subscription on their consumers is kind of a recipe for disaster. So getting into Pandora now, their lack of revenue could become detrimental, as they already lost a large chunk of their consumers due to only being in the United States right now. I'm sure this loss of money with the lack of new customers can be a huge setback if they don't play their cards right. Along with the constant changing market of new services, songs, record labels, everything like that, they may already struggle attaining all those. So these are some threats that come to these two companies. Overall, my evaluation, I think Spotify and Pandora should not merge in this current climate of streaming. Although there are complications, Spotify does remain the number one and most popular streaming service. The potential issue that might arise with the licensing restrictions that Pandora faces currently could be a huge drawback for Spotify if things were not to get resolved properly for some reason in this merge. And I believe the merge of these two would seemingly benefit Pandora more than Spotify, whereas Spotify could potentially get the same benefits in time on their own. So yeah, that's my evaluation of these two services and whether or not they should merge, and thank you.